Have you ever wondered who's on the other side of the screen when you're browsing through the internet, especially when it comes to mature content? This question has sparked a legal battle reaching all the way to the US Supreme Court, revolving around the issue of age verification for online content. At the heart of the debate is a Texas law that mandates users to provide identification before accessing pornographic websites. The goal? To protect minors from explicit content. But not everyone views this legislation through the same lens. The law has also drawn sharp criticism, with detractors arguing it infringes on free speech rights and adult privacy. This issue ties into broader themes of internet safety, privacy, and freedom of expression, igniting a complex and contentious debate that reaches far beyond the borders of Texas. So, is this a protective measure for minors or an infringement of adult rights? Let's delve deeper into both sides of the argument. Proponents of the law argue it serves as a protective barrier for minors. In a world that thrives online, the digital landscape has become a playground for all. However, not all content is child-friendly, and herein lies the basis for the proponents' argument. They underscore the omnipresence of mature content online and how alarmingly accessible it is for minors. The internet, in its vastness, does not discriminate between adult and minor users, thus creating a digital environment where children can stumble upon content that is not age-appropriate. The proponents believe that the potential harm such content can inflict on the psychological well-being of minors is significant. They cite studies that have shown exposure to explicit content at a young age can lead to a skewed understanding of relationships, body image issues, and even mental health problems. Among the proponents, you'll find many child psychologists and educators who stress the necessity of such a law. They argue that just as there are age restrictions in the physical world, for instance, on alcohol or tobacco purchases, the digital world should not be an exception. Some proponents even go as far as to say that this law is overdue. They point to statistics that reveal an unsettling reality. In a recent survey, it was found that over half of children between the ages of 11 and 16 have been exposed to explicit content online. This is a statistic that proponents argue cannot be ignored. They also highlight the success of age verification measures in other realms. For instance, online platforms that sell alcohol or video games with mature ratings have implemented strict age verification processes that have been largely successful in keeping these products out of the hands of minors. In the proponents' view, the law is not about curtailing freedom but about protecting the most vulnerable among us. They argue that a society that values its children must prioritize their safety and well-being above all else. So for proponents, the law is a necessary step in ensuring minors' safety online. But what about those who disagree? Critics of the law, however, see it as an infringement on free speech rights and adult privacy. This is their rallying cry, their banner, their cause célèbre. They argue that the law, while well-intentioned, is a breach into the private lives of consenting adults. They question, is it fair to require an individual to provide identification to view online content? They argue that this is not just about explicit content, it's about privacy. The law, in their view, is an overreach, potentially opening the door for misuse of personal information, and their concerns are not unfounded. In the digital age, data is the new gold, and cyber thieves are always on the prowl. Critics worry that requiring identification could make users more vulnerable to identity theft. They also argue that the law could set a dangerous precedent. Today, it's age verification for explicit content. Tomorrow it could be political content, religious content, or any other form of speech. This, they contend, is a slippery slope towards censorship and control over online content. Expert opinions and statistics lend weight to these concerns. Studies reveal a growing mistrust of how personal information is used online. A recent survey found that 7 out of 10 Americans are concerned about their privacy online. It's evident that the public shares some of these concerns. Critics also caution against the potential for the law to be used as a tool for suppression. They suggest that while the law is currently aimed at explicit content, it could be used to target other forms of speech in the future. They point to countries where internet censorship is rampant, where the free flow of information is stifled, and they ask, is this what we want for our digital future? They argue that free speech is a fundamental right, and any law that infringes upon this right should be viewed with skepticism and caution. Critics argue that the law is a slippery slope that could lead to broader internet control. So where does this leave us? This is the question we must grapple with as we witness this ongoing debate. The age verification law for online content is a complex issue with valid arguments on both sides. On one hand, we have proponents who firmly believe that such a law is crucial in shielding minors from explicit content. They argue that this measure can provide an additional layer of protection in an age where digital access is practically universal. On the other hand, critics of the law raise important concerns about its implications for free speech and privacy. They argue that the law could potentially infringe upon the rights of adults to consume content freely and privately, thus creating a chilling effect on freedom of expression. As this debate unfolds, it becomes apparent that the key issue at stake is the balance between security and freedom in our digital age. How can we protect the vulnerable without infringing upon the rights of others? As we continue to navigate the digital age, the balance between security and freedom remains a pressing question. For now, the decision rests with the U.S. Supreme Court. Thank you for watching Topics on Trend. Go ahead and check out another trending video on our channel here, like, subscribe, comment, and share.